edge of a break to the downside, while a new signal is flashing in the short term that we need to pay attention to, while Ethereum is now bouncing from critical short-term support after just rejecting from this area of resistance. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and as of right now, the Bollinger Bands are still squeezing together, which is pointing towards a major volatile move coming sometime soon in the coming weeks. Potentially, this could start any day now. And basically, the longer the Bollinger Bands squeeze together, which means the Bollinger Bands width indicator is staying down at these low levels, the longer this is happening, the larger that volatile move will potentially be. And so basically right now, a massive volatile move is currently building in the price of Bitcoin. But if you want to know more about this chart right here, then check out my last video here on the channel, because over the last one day, this chart has not really changed all that much. And something similar can be said about the 3-day Bitcoin chart right here, because as of right now, we're still potentially forming a massive inverse head and shoulders pattern. But at least as of right now, this pattern is not yet confirmed, because we have not yet seen any confirmed breakout with candle closes above this neckline, which is sitting at around 71.7k. But ideally, we need a breakout above 73 to 74,000 in order to flip much more bullish, as I've been saying this entire time. But anyway, taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, and as of right now, what we are now seeing in the DXY is actually a bounce back to the upside after yesterday's pullback. Because of course, as I mentioned in my last video, we were starting to see a bit of a drop in the DXY, which just in the imminent short term, that was a bit of a bullish signal. And as that was happening right around the inflation numbers getting released just around a day ago, we did actually see a small bounce to the upside in the price of Bitcoin, a bit of short-term bullish price action. But with that being said, and as I've said recently here on the channel, we ideally need to see a follow through, more of a bearish trend in the DXY in order to flip much more bullish here for Bitcoin, in order to expect a continuation of this bullish trend for the price of Bitcoin. Because as we can see here, time and time again, when the DXY is trending in the bearish direction, that is quite often bullish for Bitcoin in terms of the trend on the daily time frame, and vice versa, when the DXY is trending in the bullish direction, that is very often bearish for Bitcoin. And so if that pullback in the DXY that we just saw yesterday simply just formed a higher low in the DXY, and if we actually continue a further bounce back to the upside, that is another warning signal to pay attention to, a bearish reversal signal for Bitcoin. But at least as of right now, at the time of recording this video, the DXY is basically just consolidating sideways, at least for now. We haven't really broken out much further into massive higher highs and higher lows, basically fully confirming a bullish trend in the DXY. So at least for now, we're somewhat consolidating sideways, choppy sideways price action here in the DXY, as we've seen here in the price action over the last couple of weeks as well for the price of Bitcoin. But we are getting very close to potentially confirming more of a trend reversal. Basically, if the price starts breaking below around 67,000 with strong confirmation to the downside, and if the DXY continues that bullish trend, then that would be a further confirmation signal that we're actually reversing back into the bearish direction, at least in terms of these shorter term trends here on the daily time frame. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, what we are now seeing in the price of Bitcoin is the price, at least as of recording this video, is trading below this area of support, which is sitting in between around 67,000 to 68,000. But at least as of right now, we have not yet actually confirmed the daily candle close well below 67,000. So for all we know, this could just be another candle wick to the downside if we can confirm the candle close back above 67,000. But basically, if we start seeing daily candle closes actually confirm well below 67,000, and especially if we turn that area into new resistance. So for example, if we close below 67k and then try to bounce back to the upside and then actually reject from that area, that would be a strong bearish signal in the short term, pointing towards more of a bearish trend reversal, at least in the shorter term here, pointing towards a move down towards this area in between around 63 to 64,000. And so once again, we're getting very close to those signals potentially confirming, but at least as of right now, those signals have not yet confirmed. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 3-hour Bitcoin chart, what we are now seeing is actually a slightly lower low in the price of Bitcoin in the candle closes, while also forming higher lows in the 3-hour Bitcoin RSI. And so this is indeed a bullish divergence, but at least as of right now, it's not yet confirmed because we actually need to confirm the higher low in place in the RSI by confirming at least a couple of green candle closes here in the price to actually cement the higher low in place in the RSI, because by default, the RSI is based off candle closes. And so once again, as of right now, this potential bullish divergence in the short term is not yet confirmed, but it is a signal that is flashing on the chart right now that we need to pay attention to in case it does end up confirming. And if we do end up seeing those confirmation signals, basically some green candle closes here in the short term, then that will tell us that we actually might stop this massive bearish pullback right here, and instead we might see a slight bullish relief over the coming days, or at least some more choppy sideways price action as the most likely outcomes if we first confirm this bullish divergence. And we also have a potential double bottom pattern here if we do confirm that bullish divergence with basically two lows in the price after that volatile movement. And we have seen similar price action to this just a couple of weeks ago right down here. As you can see, we had this spike to the upside and then a drop and another spike to the upside and a drop, and the lows formed right around each other. And when we were seeing that previous price structure in the Bitcoin price, I actually used that opportunity to add to this Bitcoin long position. And that is what I just did, basically just now before I started recording this video, right around this local low, right here at around 66,500, I actually added again to this Bitcoin long position. So last video, this was a 250k Bitcoin long position, but right now this is a $300,000 Bitcoin long position, as you can see on the left-hand side right there. And even with adding to this position, which of course raises the entry price for this position, my stop loss is still in profit. So even in the worst case scenario, if we just crash right now, that would hit the stop loss and close the rest of the trade in profits either way. And if you also want to take trades just like this for yourself to potentially make a lot of easy money in crypto, as I'm doing right here, then personally, I'm taking this trade over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it will take you to this page right here, where you can claim an exclusive 200 USDT airdrop position just by making a Bybit account using that link, making a deposit and claiming the airdrop. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I will also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative crypto exchange. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can actually see a new area of liquidity building to the downside below the current price, just underneath 66,000, or more specifically in between around 65.7k to 65.9k to 66,000. And so at least in the short term, it is possible that the price could grab that liquidity first before heading in another direction. But at least as of right now, we still have the majority of the liquidity above the price, mainly sitting at around 70,000, give or take, more specifically in between around $70,000 going up towards around 70.6k. And right around those levels on the chart, we have hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars of liquidations, of liquidity sitting right around that area. So that's definitely an important area to pay attention to on the Bitcoin chart. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, right now the price of ETH is running into this 38.2% Fibonacci level of support, which is sitting at around 3480 to 3490, so just below 3.5k. But if we end up seeing daily candle closes back below that Fibonacci level right there, then in that case, the next retracement level is the 50% retracement level sitting at around 3340. And below that, we have the golden pocket area of support sitting in between around 3170 to 3220. And if we're taking a look at this 8-hour time frame, we can see over the last 1 to 2 days, the price first of all broke below this golden pocket area of resistance and then fell to this 50% retracement level, which is now acting as support. And then we saw a perfect bounce from that level, which by the way is sitting at around 34.50. And then we saw the price bounce all the way back up to that golden pocket, once again acting as a resistance, sitting in between 3.6k to 36.50. And then we saw another rejection from that area. And now we're actually bouncing from this 50% retracement level again, once again at around 34.50, acting as support. And so at least in the shorter term, those are the important areas of support and resistance to pay attention to, at least as of right now. But overall, if we're talking about whether Ethereum is bullish or bearish, basically we can take a look at this ETH BTC chart. This is Ethereum versus Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, and it is quite clear that at least as of right now, the price of ETH versus Bitcoin is simply bearish. We're still forming lower highs and lower lows on the larger time frames, which is technically a bearish trend just after forming a new lower high and rejecting from this massive descending line of resistance. And so as I explained in recent videos here on the channel, this basically tells us that whatever Bitcoin is doing, Ethereum is doing worse. So if Bitcoin has a pullback, Ethereum is likely going to pull back further, or if Bitcoin has a pump back to the upside, Ethereum could still pump against the US dollar, but maybe not as much as what Bitcoin did. And we can only really expect that to reverse and for Ethereum to start outperforming Bitcoin if this chart actually flips bullish. So if we see a breakout above this line of resistance and ideally above some previous highs here, which at least as of right now has not happened. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the 8-hour time frame right now, after seeing another perfect rejection from 160 as we've seen previously, and 160 by the way was previous support right here but is now resistance. After seeing that rejection, we're now bouncing right around this area of support, which is sitting in between around 140 to around 145 right now. But if we actually saw a break back below $140, then in that case, obviously in the short term, that would be a bearish signal. And in that case, we could likely see a move back down towards this massive area of support in between around 120 to 128. But obviously, as of right now, that has not confirmed. So at least for now, this area of support in between around 140 to 145 is still the support to pay attention to. And the resistance is obviously still sitting at around 160. And so at least for now, the price of Solana is potentially just in a sideways price range in between support and resistance, as we've seen previously back here. And so I'll not be surprised if we see some choppy sideways price action in this area, as I mentioned in my last video. And if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, once again, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.